y'all, and welcome back to my channel. On this page, I talk about, hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. On this page, I talk about technology and money. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for returning. And thank you for everyone who has liked and shared this page and also left comments or written in. My contact information is in the description. And also my page hit 100 subscribers about a week and a half ago. So I appreciate everyone who has subscribed to the channel and also shared it with your friends. And before I get into today's topic, like I sometimes like to do, how is everybody doing? Hope you had a good week and can just get like a moment to yourself to kind of like take a breath and just kind of like woosah, okay? I know I've had a week, so sometimes I just really like just kind of just stopping, doing a time out, and just checking in with myself. So today, I want to talk about the Gilded Age. Who else is watching the Gilded Age? I am. I'm watching the Gilded Age new show on HBO. It's actually about 4 episodes in, and I want to talk about it. So if you're watching it, welcome. If you got brought here by the YouTube algorithm, because you're also watching the Gilded Age, welcome to my channel, welcome to my page. I talk about technology and money here. And since I do like talking about money, I like reading about money, not like from a professional's point of view, because I'm not like a finance expert or a money expert. I'm an expert of my own money, but I love like learning about money, how people use money for their lives, to better their lives, how to maximize it in my own personal life. So when I saw that HBO was coming out with this new drama, I think it was supposed to be on a different network. I don't think the Gilded Age was originally slotted for HBO. I think it was going to be on one like the network channels. But anyway, they ended up putting it on HBO. It's 4 episodes in. It's from the same person who did Downton Abbey. Now, here's something about me. I love period pieces, okay? Any period piece that's not rooted in trauma, rooted in like an oppression of any type of culture, right? Not just Black people, not just any. I don't like period pieces that are rooted in trauma or a lot of violence. I've learned about those. I've watched those growing up. I've read books about just different historical, or seen movies about different historical aspects. I don't like period pieces about trauma, but I love period pieces that are about drama, and especially if they're about money. So I watched Downton Abbey. I watched all seasons, all episodes. I remember, matter of fact, I remember one season finale. I sold tickets to the Young Jeezy concert so I could see the season finale of Downton Abbey. So I loved it. Good drama. But again, I like period pieces. I also like learning about money and just how people handle money. This wasn't a series, but there was a movie that came out, I want to say, let's see, it's 2022 now. I think the movie came out either this year or last year. It's a Nollywood film, and it's called Smart Money Woman, and it's based on an actual book. That was it wasn't a period piece because it's based in current times, but that's really good. That's a really good drama that's about money, and it shows like different aspects of how it follows, like, I believe, 4 women and how they handle their money and just the different aspects and different money lessons. So that was really good. There's also another good, it's not a period piece, but there was a podcast that Dr. Lisa Cook, she's an economist, did on NPR's Planet Money, maybe about 2 summers ago, where she covered the Tulsa race massacre and tied in how Black generational wealth and money, that period after Reconstruction, when there was a lot of generational wealth and Black businesses in Tulsa. And then that race massacre happened. I believe was it 1921. Y'all keep me straight. Historians don't drag me for that. But it happened, I believe, in the 20s. And then she tied in the economy and how that event impacted not only generational wealth for a certain segment, but also the ability for Black people to have patents and businesses. And it's really good. So I love period pieces. I love things about money. So when I saw that this series, The Gilded Age, was coming from being brought to us by the same person who did Downton Abbey, I jumped on it. I ate it right on up. So today, I want to talk about the topic. So I've watched the first 4 episodes. I'm a little bit late. I'm a little bit behind because episode 4 came out this week on Valentine's Day. And, with everything else going on Valentine's Day, I didn't get a chance to watch episode 4 until later on this week. And after I watched episode 4, I was like, you know what? Now, this show is a drama. I said, but there's really some money lessons in this show. And I was like, I don't know if he meant for it to be a money show. Well, not a show, a money show, but to have these lessons about money. Like, it is based in the Gilded Age, which is the late 1800s. So the period after the Civil War, but before like the early 1900s, and I forget which. It's not what era came after. Let's see, did I write what era? The Progressive Era. So it's the era after the Civil War, but before the Progressive Era in like the 1900s. So it's right in the late 1800s. But after I watched the 4th episode this week, I was like, you know what? There are a lot of money lessons in the Gilded Age, okay, in this TV show. I'm really enjoying it. So I was like, ooh, let me talk. Since my channel is about, technology and money, I was like, let me just, I was like, who else is watching it? First of all, there is an official podcast that HBO has about the show. I haven't listened to it yet, but after I watched the 4th episode, I came out to Google the YouTube algorithm. I was like, ooh, the Gilded Age reviews. And I was like, I didn't find one. So I was like, ooh, let me create one. All right. So I'm going to talk about some of my favorite characters from the show. And then with some of my favorite characters or some of the main characters, talk about some of the money lessons that I'm picking up on from this show. So I'm going to share my screen. Y'all know you have to just please bear with me. Getting better at StreamYard, but yeah. So y'all should be seeing that. Okay. Should be seeing the Gilded Age official Instagram. Okay. So I'm gonna talk through some of my favorite characters from the show. And then we can have a conversation about it in the comments. I'll just bear with your girl here. So let's see. Okay, y'all should be seeing that. Just give me a second here. I think I like that. That one a little bit better there. Okay. All right. So this is the Gilded Age. This is their Instagram. Okay. So if you haven't, definitely check it out. Fair use and everything. So my favorite characters. Well, some of my favorite characters. Also, let's just talk about some of the characters. Okay. First of all, this Aunt Agnes and Bertha Russell. I'm gonna talk about especially Bertha, because Bertha is a boss. I'm gonna talk about Bertha Russell here in a moment. Let me get to one of my favorite characters. Okay, so it's gonna flip here. Ooh, Peggy Scott. Okay, so Peggy Scott, you see she was born in Brooklyn, but Peggy is interesting, right? And another reason I like this show and it has really caught my attention is, so when you think about the period pieces or the dramas that have been released, from major studios or even, plays and things, Black people aren't always held. aren't shown in a light where they come from wealth, they have like from an upper class. You don't usually see that in period pieces or dramas. Or think about, let's see, what was it? Django. So think about Django. That showed a little bit with the main character Django, but think about like how Black people or people of color were portrayed in that film, and that's just one example of many. So Peggy Scott is an interesting character to me because clearly with the way she's dressed, like went from the very first moment where we're introduced to her at the train platform, you can tell by the way she carries herself, by the way she talks, the way she is dressed, the way her hair is laid. Sis got some money. Well, her family got somebody that she knows got some money that has blessed her with money. So that immediately caught my attention because you don't usually see Black people in period pieces from a place of wealth. And then we learn a little bit more into the first episode that sis went to private school, I think in Boston, like a private school for colored people where she, learned how to talk and learn how to write and has excellent penmanship, and Agnes ended up hiring Peggy as her personal secretary. But Peggy is actually smart. Peggy is a journalist. She is a writer, and she's working to get like her stories published. And the money lesson that I'm picking up from Peggy, especially after this fourth episode, because we had met Peggy's parents in like earlier episodes, and I'm not sure what's going on there, why she feels like she can't go to her parents for like help or money, or why she's back in New York. It's not clear like what she has against, like, especially it seemed like something going on between her and her dad. But then we find out in episode 4 that Peggy's dad owns a pharmacy. So it doesn't say if he is an actual pharmacist, but he did say, I built this pharmacy, or I have the pharmacy, and my intention was to, make it your legacy. And I was like, oh, Peggy family got money. And you can tell with their house, right? You can see they have like servants in the house, they have like house servants and, serving meals. And her family has, they have manners. And you see that when Marion, we're going to get to Marion. You can see when Marion comes to visit, there's a housekeeper that answers the door, and the housekeeper has all the manners, and just even the housekeeper has class. And I was like, oh my gosh. So the money lesson I am learning from Peggy, that I see from Peggy, is even though it's clear that she comes from money and her family has money, she is still working to establish her own self, right? She still has her own career, and she's wanting to establish herself and have her own money and her own identity. And I love that for her, right? I love that from her. Again, I love that her character and just the Black people in this series, they aren't portrayed from a place of just from a place of trauma or a place of servitude, which you think about the era that this show is set in. There were definitely people living within that social class, especially like in the South, right? Because this was like the era after the Civil War, where there were still sharecropping. And again, I'm not a history major or history buff, but you can just, use your common sense to think about, what else was going on in the United States in this same period of time. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's Peggy. All right. So Peggy Scott, that's my girl. All right. Now, Oscar Van Ryn. Now listen. Okay, so Oscar Van Ryn, he is Aunt Agnes and Aunt Ada's. He's one of their sons. I think he's Aunt Agnes's son, right? So, and this is right here on the screen. So he has money. Well, his mom has money, so he is set to inherit a lot of money himself. Okay, but he's also part of the LGBT community, but he's not able to live his life out out loud. He's not able to. So, we see that with his boyfriend, and there's a couple of scenes where we see that, and Oscar talks about having to establish himself to have more money. So he sets his eyes on George Russell's daughter. And there is this scene in, I think it was an episode, it's either episode 2 or episode 3. Y'all don't hold me on if I get it mixed up. But where Oscar says, I have money, but I need more money. Yo, Oscar Van Ryn is a gold digger. And I did not see that, and I did not have that on my bingo card, right? So and the money lesson here is not even just for women with money, but especially women with money. And if you're established, you really have to watch out for men, even men with money. You have to watch out for these guys, because it's like, do they really care for you or love you, or they love you for what you can bring to their lives to make it better? Right. And he's supposed to be the man, and he's out here gold digging. So, but you know what? George Russell has already peaked game. So, yeah. So Oscar Van Ryn, I did not have that on my bingo card that he's not a gigolo, right? Because he does have money, but he made it very clear he wants more money, and it's really important to him to associate and marry a woman who has money. But George Russell, that man is smart. He already peaked game. All right. So who we got here? Oh, child. Okay. So Marion Brook. Now, okay. First of all, let me just start off straight. Okay. So Marion Brook, the money lesson here is she thought she came for money, so her daddy died. He didn't leave her any money. He left her with like $35, and the house was rented, and poor Marion did not have a clue, right? She had no clue. She thought her dad had money. I forget. Do they say what happened to her mama? I don't know. But anyway, so it's just her and her dad. Her dad died, didn't leave her anything, almost basically left her penniless. But Marion is a little naive, right? She's a little naive. And I say that because, I get the sense that she's always been provided for, which is nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being provided for and having provisions. But, it makes me think what my mom always says for women, whether you are a working woman, whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you're provided for and married, whether you're single and you're providing for yourself, you always have to prepare for war in a time of peace. My mama says that all the time. So, even if you're being provided for, you still have to make sure that you have provisions in the event something goes left. And poor Marion, she didn't have it after her dad died, and now she's living with her aunties, and her aunties have bank, and she still, I don't feel like she has a sense of really understanding of, what it means to just truly understand, like, where the money is, and, if something happens, having to be able to provide for yourself. So she's just used to being taken care of. Her and Peggy go to Bloomingdale's in episode 4, and Marion is just like, and Peggy's like, well, what we going here for? And Marion's like, oh, they just have nice stuff. And it's just like, sis just don't have a clue. But can't blame that on her, really, because that's just how she was brought up. But yeah. So all right, enough about Marion, because she's cool, but she's not my favorite character. So we're gonna move right along. Okay, Jack, we talk about him and Bridget. Okay, Ada, it's cool. Maybe I'll save her for another review. She's old money, but Ada actually has a little bit of balance. Like, she's not all the way like set in the old ways and the old money ways. So Ada cool. Whew, and Agnes. Now, at first, I didn't like Aunt Agnes. And Aunt Agnes is like one of those women, like, you can't stand to like, but you have to like them, because Aunt Agnes is actually quite smart. Okay. So the family came, her and her sister came from money. Then their daddy lost all the money, and then Agnes married into money, and her husband is dead now. But he left her set, right? He left her with provisions, and she's very smart about that. She very Agnes ain't no fool, right? She's no fool. She see people coming a mile away, but she's also very judgmental, but she's smart. And the money lesson here is that Agnes, she knows not only, she knows about the money, she knows how to handle her money and be smart about it, but she also knows how to look out for other people. And I say that because in I think it's episode 3, a man from Ada's past comes and, oh, I'm just so in love with you, and child, he ended up being a gigolo, and Aunt Agnes saw him from a mile away. Aunt Agnes had all the tea pulled up on this man and knew that he was only trying to holler at Ada because he thought that she had money. Child, Aunt Agnes saw that man coming a mile away. All right, so I don't like Aunt Agnes, but I like Aunt Agnes. Okay, moving right along. That's her talking, fair use. I don't know if I can do the volume, so I'm just going to keep it moving. Now, girl, Turner. I wasn't going to... Let me just talk about Turner here for a second. Okay, so she a gold digger too, but she is not only a gold digger, Turner want to be a mistress. So right now, she's a housemaid to Bertha Russell. So George Russell is like, big money, railroad magnate, etc. But child, Turner want to be a kept woman. Turner better watch out. She gonna mess up. Because see, here's the thing. Bertha doesn't play, right? We can see, if you've been watching episodes 1 through 4, you can see how Bertha can show no mercy, right? But she do it real cool, like, right? Think about when in episode 3, when I forget whose wife came, the one who ended up deleting himself, when she came to ask Bertha to ask George to have some mercy so they wouldn't lose anything. And Bertha was like, child, who? Why should I? Like, you can't make a withdrawal unless you made a deposit first. And I was like, okay, Bertha. But anyway, so Turner better watch out, because I think she is itching for a beat down. I don't think, and the reason why I say that, if y'all haven't seen it yet, so Turner is just throwing herself all over George Russell, throwing eyes at him, and, not all the house staff see it, but some of the house staff are noticing, like, why are you so sour? Why are you always up in George Russell's face? So Turner better watch out. But the money lesson here is clearly sis is looking for a come up. She better watch it though, because I don't think Bertha played that. All right, so Larry Russell, that's the son. Moving right along. Gladys. Now George Russell. Now I like George Russell. Now George Russell, first of all, he's a boss. Right. So he's a railroad magnate. He's built a fortune. He's taking care of his family. He clearly loves his wife, right? Because he for his family, which is good. But the money lesson here with George Russell is just knowing your business, knowing the market, staying calm, not making brash, irrational money decisions, even when things get tight, because the alderman and some of the other politicians really tried to play George Russell. Like, they really tried to ruin him. And for why? Like, did they really have to try to short sell the proposed railroad? No, they could have just, made it so that they made a profit without necessarily trying to destroy George Russell. But no, what they tried to get greedy. They really tried George Russell. And if the aldermen and all of those politicians had been successful, George Russell would have lost everything. So, but he in those days between when George Russell was playing the long game and the aldermen and those other politicians were trying to short sell, and even though George knew and Bertha knew, they knew that it was likely, that it was a possibility that they may lose everything, like their brand new house, all the staff, all the money. They didn't freak out. They stayed calm. They stayed calm as a couple, but he stayed calm as the head of the household. He continued on. He strategized. He didn't let, because money can be very emotional, right? And when someone feels backed into a corner, sometimes it can be easy to make a decision with your money that can be to your detriment. He didn't do that. So that's the money lesson right there. And he also peeped Oscar Van Ryn. He seen Oscar Van Ryn coming, because in episode 4, George Russell says, I'm trying to think, I think he says it to Bertha. He says, yeah, Oscar Van Ryn, he be coming around here and looking at our daughter. He don't say it like that, but you get the sense. But, and George Russell says, you think he's looking for an heiress? And he's just kind of wondering. And I'm like, yes, he is. But anyway, so yeah, George Russell, I like George Russell. I like the way he's handling his money. And I think that's it here. Yeah, Cherry. Okay, Miss Bruce. Oh, Bertha. I'll save if I do another review, I'll save Bertha for another review. I like Bertha Russell. I don't have a money lesson for her just yet. Clearly, she is very strategic. But okay. One thing I do like about her, when they thought that in episode 3, when they were going to lose everything, right? When the aldermen and the politicians were trying to short sell all of the stocks, she was like, well, it's just money. If you lose everything, George, you built one fortune, you can build another. She didn't freak out. So yeah, I like Bertha. But we got to talk about one of my favorites, my good sis. Now, where did I see my good sisters? Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Let's see. Can y'all guess who? Let's see if I can find. There is somebody who I really like. She is not a main character. Miss Chamberlain is not the main character, okay? She is not the focus of the show. She is a social outcast, pariah. But my good sis, Miss Chamberlain, I like her, right? And now, okay, so I don't even know what her background is. In episode 4, it looks like Oscar Van Ryn has the T on her. So apparently, allegedly, she was messing with a man who was already married, and I think his wife was sick. His wife died, and then I guess he got sick and he died. But before he got sick and died, Miss Chamberlain was like his mistress, and then she had a baby bomb at some point in time, and then they moved to the city, and they started acting like, they were always together. And apparently in New York society in the late 1800s, how Miss Chamberlain came about her money or whatever it is about her background, people just don't like. I like Miss Chamberlain, right? Sis got money. Now, clearly, if she's around these women with money and able, before we even saw whatever happened in episode 4, if y'all watch episodes 1 through 3, clearly by the way she's dressed and the fact that she knows where these social events happening, sis got money. But in episode 4, we really saw that sis got money. And I say that because we saw what I think to be like French art or some type of, it may not have been French, but it was clearly some type of, like I guess European artistry. We saw some sculptures in her house. Her house is big and it's just full and it's elaborate. And it's just like, I was like, oh my God. I was like, Miss Chamberlain is loaded. But she doesn't seem to let her money make her personality. But the only thing I don't like is, these women don't like you, and yet you still trying to be all up in their faces. I don't know, but still, I like her personality, and she seems to be very kind-hearted. She seems to be patient. So yeah, y'all, I think that's it. Who are y'all watching The Gilded Age on HBO? Are you liking it? Who's your favorite character? Any lessons that I picked up on money lessons? I know it's a drama, it's a period piece, but I'm picking up on the money lessons and things like that. What are y'all thoughts? I definitely love to hear. You can leave a comment below. I'll also leave my contact information below as well. If you made it this far in the video, please do like this video, share it with your friends. Also, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.